This VF Talks, we had a bit of a power outage in the Downingtown, Coatesville, Thorndale area that lasted all of 5 minutes. But we are back, and we're talking about um, future plans and moreover what basically drives us and the amazing things that drives Matt and all of that. So yes, we need to do this at Fogo.
Let's do it. We'll break out our calendars here one of these days and we'll put something down. That'll be fun.
Yeah, and and you're not sure you're going to do leader or not.
Well, I'm in the consideration mode.
Hmm.
I mean, Lita's good when you're watching a whole bunch of other people. And I did do all of the lessons this last time. And I watched some people some of the time, but I really wasn't all in with it. I think I need to be all in with it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, should I do it or should I not do it? But we'll see. We'll
I
see.
think I think you definitely should. And Sarah, thank you for joining us back on this. She says I'm waffling about Lita.
I can relate, Sarah. I can relate.
As I told someone during LSP today, I don't plan to have an infusion done during this next Lita. So you will have my attention for 31 days. So I can do this. And moreover, if you need someone else to roll up the sleeves and mod, I can definitely do that too. Sarah also says it takes or eats so much time. It
Well, if
does.
you do it right, it does. Some people talk about the time commitment it takes to actually do the exercises. And my opinion is that's, well, I'm sure that's true for some people. I'm not disparaging anyone. For me, that was never really the thing. You listen to Loria's setup, which can go on for sometimes 14 minutes, and then you think about it. And I try and do an outline because I like to be prepared so I don't just meander. And then you hit the go live button and go. That's a pretty light touch, in my
Mhm.
opinion. But as I said, and I think as even Sarah, it might even be thinking, it's the investment in watching everybody else. That's
And wanting to
that's
watch.
that's 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 my that's what I'm hinging it on. But
Yeah.
who knows?
I
We shall.
I think Lita and LSP and Impartial Geek and Dave Foster and I think you know recovering addict and Dan LT Weaver. I think sober James. I think real recovery Nicole. We think about the five groups that have been important to me in the last year and change. These are the five groups that made an incredible impact on me. That outside of the fact that I'm finally found a way to start expressing myself by way of live streaming, but also being one with my feelings and being absolutely clear and unabashed about what I'm thinking. As Laurie would say, uniquely me, I would think unabashed and steadfast would be me. So I'm very thankful to all of you, and when I say I'm appreciative and I love you guys, I absolutely do. It's changed my life for without
It's
question.
it's it's fun running in different communities. I'm in a lot of different communities. I'm in the how to take care of your lawn community. And there are some people that go way into it. By the way, my lawn is looking spectacular.
Do you have
Oh,
that Kentucky bluegrass on that front lawn yet?
no,
No.
it's tall type high fescue is what I have.
Can you put on
Uh,
it?
well, Kentucky bluegrass, that's more of a southern state grass. Like does better in southern climates. I'm northern here in Pennsylvania. Anyway, but I'm just saying, I'm in some baseball circles. I'm in the piano groups. I'm in the woodworking groups. Oh, and the woodworking. Oh, John, there's this big woodworking party that the one the guy throws. It's a 250-foot slip and slide on his palatial estate, which isn't palatial. It's a big property. It's a small house in the middle of nowhere, and I can't go to it this year. I'm so bummed. I didn't have it last year because of the year that shall not be named.
We won't mention
And
it, but do you mind what last year was, right?
right. So I'm gonna skip it, and I'm so bummed. I'm so bummed.
Ingrid or Ingy says, I like a nice edge. Hello.
Hi, Ingrid. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. As we
And
work through Pico's sort of issues in this area and being still having power lines that are above the road and not under the road. But that's neither here or there, and that's a conversation for another day.
I like the buried I like the buried power lines. It's
Me
a
too.
very good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Less prone to natural disasters and people taking their trucks and smashing them into power poles.
Right.
And squirrels touching the transformers, man. We would have exploding squirrels at my father's house. There was a pole in the middle of the 4 properties in the corner. There's a big power pole with one of those big white, they look like buckets, but they've got all of the, anyway, I guess it's the step down or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And squirrels would get up there. They would touch the one line and they would grab the other, and they would explode. It would sound like a gun went off, and you'd look up and there'd be fur coming down to the ground, and of course it would kill the power. Then the power company would have to,
and it would kill them too.
It will, of course. It kills. Yeah, power, electrical.
Ingy says, why are all the trees planted directly under power lines? It's very stupid.
Hey. Let's get rid of all the trees. Just pave over. Who needs oxygen?
Oh, oxygen's overrated.
Kidding. I like trees.
This whole oxygen, carbon dioxide thing, it's who cares?
Yeah. Oh, did you watch Corgazant on YouTube?
Yeah.
Did you see the one where they have a way in a couple generations to terraform Venus? Did you watch that one?
Yes.
That was fascinating.
It goes back to something we were talking about before. These are things I'm not thinking about, and yet here's they got it, left, right, and sideways.
Let's do it. Let's put those big reflectors. So they basically want to put Venus in darkness for 88 years to freeze it.
Which, funny enough, the number of keys on 88 goes back to everything.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh, like wow. That'd be what, because it's exactly like Earth. Well, it's 90% the size of Earth. So if you're 100 pounds on Earth, you weigh 90 on Venus, and that's just fine. Humans can. The only problem is the pressure and the atmosphere and the temperature.
Small things like physics.
Yeah, it's like you would be crushed on the surface. It's so dense, all the atmosphere. The pressure. It would be like you're underwater. You would implode. Not to mention burn up in flames instantaneously. I think it's as hot as a pizza oven on the surface of Venus. It's a very.
Ingy asks any weekend plans, and last time I checked, it's not to self-combust on another planet, so we have that figured out. Any weekend plans, Matt?
I do have weekend plans. My son and his college roommates are doing a cookout barbecue for the parents of all of the roommates. So he's got 4 roommates, and all the parents are going to go down and eat food cooked by their children in their college dorm. So that's what I'm doing this weekend. I'm going to eat hot dogs and hamburgers cooked by 21-year-olds.
well, I'll say this, Matt, not to be selfish for a second, but if you need help with that, let me know, because I like a good cookout just like the next person.
There you go. Well, here's what I suggest you do. Have offspring, have them be 21 and have
Right.
them be roommates of my kid. And then you're in, baby.
I'm in. I'm in like Flynn, right? Or adopt. If I adopt like a 16-year-old within 5 years, bam, bam, boom, I got that.
Yeah, so I don't know what to expect or when it's happening or how long it'll be, but it'll be good to hang with the boy a little bit. Um, because when I do often see him, I'm doing some sort of property maintenance. I'm installing shower heads or hanging televisions on walls or something.
You become Bob Vila.
Oh, the one ditzy roommate, they keep turning off the furnace.
Ay, ay, ay.
They don't realize that the furnace drives the air conditioning. It's the same freaking unit. It just says furnace on and off. And there's a little light switch right next to the furnace. It says furnace on off. And they go click. And then they're like, it's so hot in here. I don't know why the air's not coming. You turned off the furnace.
Sarah is violinist and cellist friends are rehearsing a program they're playing in New York tomorrow night, so she's got to go. And she tells us to have a great weekend, guys. Sarah, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sarah.
Appreciate your questions and comments. Ingy as well. You're fantastic as well. All of you who have joined us tonight on VF Talks in this split version. Thanks, Pico.
You're all wonderful.
You're all wonderful. I thank all of you. So you got a cookout. As far as me, I got something up your alley. I'm probably going to Costco. So there's that.
Did you notice something at Costco? They're now serving the little
it's
free
back.
food.
It's back.
To me, that means we have come out of the dark times of 2020. Like that was the milestone. Like when Costco gives out free samples, it's over.
That's right.
In my mind.
When you can go up to a market table or a salad bar or a buffet and you don't have to put on plastic gloves on each of the hands and you don't have to keep distance and you can go ahead and take whatever you want as an appetizer or whatnot. I think when you make that cross, in addition to the free samples at Costco and maybe BJ's, I'm not sure if they're doing that yet. I think we've turned the corner.
Ingrid said Costco is great. Ingrid, I agree with you 100%. I was telling John pre-show that I go there about once every 5 days. I try and go more often than once a week to buy salad mix. And the salad mix costs $4.80. But with everything else I put in my cart, I'm always over $150. So I go to buy less than $5 item and I end up spending $150 every time. I'm like, Costco, they got my number. Like they know that I'm printing money for them.
Man, I just had an epiphany.
Oh dear.
You're talking about reducing the program offerings that come out of the House of Haas, registered trademark. I'm thinking you need one more thing.
Okay.
All things Costco.
There's a channel that he's the deal guy, and one of his playlists is Costco, and every month he says X, like 15 things you have to buy at Costco in July, and I have it up right now. And it's every month he does it, and I'm like, I rang the bell for that channel.
Ingy's a fan of the Caesar and the Spring Mix.
Yes, the Spring Mix. I get the Spring Mix, but you got to get it with the date far off because there's a couple different expiration dates, and the darker Spring Mix, I don't know what it is. It's kind of purpley color. That gets wilty faster than the other items. So I try and find one that has fewer of the purpley things and has a long expiration. Sorry, don't get in my head.
The purpley things. You gotta watch out for the purpley things. It's going to end you. Always. Ingy, Ingy buys clothes and everything, and stays away from the purple things.
Oh, I was buying socks. There was these socks that I thought I liked, but I don't like them anymore. And I was buying them at Costco. But one came with a single white stripe at the they were like black mid-high, socks that I wear.
Good.
And then another one came black with no little white thing around it. So you know what I did? The ones with the white stripe I gave to my brother, who's like the same build as me. He lives in the same town across the opposite end of the town. I'm like, I am not going to live in a world where I have to separate my socks into stripes and no stripe. And it was just one little. I mean, it wasn't like a gaudy pattern, but they were different. I'm like, why? Why would you sell something that's 4 pairs with the white stripe and 4 pairs with no stripe in the same 8-pair package? I'm like, I can't handle that kind of complexity in my life. So I literally gifted, and I bought cases of these things so I could have so many socks that I won't have to do the wash every week. I could like let it go for a couple of weeks. I'm like, here's more socks, Steve. My brother's name's Steve. He's like, thanks, man. Like he got sick of getting all these free socks.
Matt, it is the sort of thing that I could honestly say this works for me too. It would drive us bonkers.
Oh man. Everything in my life, I put this level of thought to. It's exhausting. It really is exhausting.
I feel like I almost have to ask this question. I mean, I'm not sure if we go, but have you talked to a therapist about this?
No, I'm loving life. I'm loving. I don't want to change anything.
You don't need to change a thing. Everything's fine.
Like a while. Here, I'll give you another example. Okay, like a while ago, I hurt my hand. Okay, so the grip pressure. I'm very sensitive about the grip pressure that I exert. I mean, I'm fine, but I don't want to aggravate anything. So now I'm starting to have all these weird bottle opener type things where you don't have to grab a cap and really wrench it, just to make my life a little easier. However, the drawer is on the opposite end of the island than the refrigerator. So what do? I get those little 3M hooks.
Oh, God.
I put them on the fridge and I hang all my accoutrements on because it's 3 steps closer to I could use the device and put it right back rather than walking around
and
then
command strip
unscrew. This is what I do. I'm saving fractions of moments. I'm saving maybe 6 seconds every time I open a bottle of water.
And we pass the savings on to you, the consumer. Going back to the salads and the purples for a second, she gets a further date out, so she's very well aware of the purple dilemma. Ingy's also a fan of Costco gas. Am I right?
You are right, and I get so mad when people don't realize that you can take that Costco gas handle and go on the opposite end of your car. Like you don't need to park with the gas cap closest to the terminal. It'll stretch. Anyway.
BJ's has that too, the extra long hose. Not to give them any love, but it is true. They have the extra long hoses as well.
I don't think they have wine in Pennsylvania for Costco.
No, Delaware does.
Although it's legal to sell wine in grocery stores. They probably could do it if they wanted to. Rich Vibes is here. Hi, Rich.
Hey, Rich. How are you doing?
My cousin.
Thank you for covering the second half of the VF Talks.
My cousin goes to Costco and he buys cases of their wine. Cases at a time. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he'll stock it up, and then they'll burn through it with party guests and things like that. My one cousin is an interesting guy and kind of well off, and he's but he loves Costco, and he'll just buy crates of the Costco wine because the Costco wine is a really good wine that they repackage under an expensive name elsewhere, but it's the exact same wine. Anyway,
The one thing I notice about Costco, and this, we kind of hinted at this in the before we started the show this evening. Costco is a lot cleaner than BJ's.
yeah,
Costco is immaculate.
agreed. Agreed.
Sam's Club, we don't even talk about.
No, nope, nope.
Sam's Club actually scares me. You want to take a
Please,
clip of that and post it? Yeah, Sam's Club scares me.
please stop saying the name of that store.
Okay.
Don't give them any more airtime.
No, no, no. That
No.
place that is not BJ's or Costco, that place scares me.
Costco pays their employees good. They hire from within, and there's very little turnover. People get a job at Costco, and they keep that job, and they treat their employees well. And in return, they keep the store clean. They care. They freaking care
Mm-hmm.
over there at Costco.
We were
And
talking about Costco on the show, either the last VF Talks or the one before it, where the CEO of Costco is refusing to raise the price of the hot dog and soda deal at $1.50 because that is their bread and butter, even though the cost and profit loss reports would say that they should up it, they would never change that.
no, it's a thing. They've never upped the price on that food item ever. That combo food item. Yeah. And yeah, it's just Costco is so opposite of what everyone else is doing. Because they're like, you want shampoo? You got two options. You don't like it, hit the road.
That's right.
You know,
Beat it.
limited choice actually paralyzes psychologically people.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to Costco, there's 7 types of toothpaste. I'm sorry, at BJ's, there's 7 types of toothpaste at BJ's. There's Crest and there's Colgate at Costco. You get 2 choices.
What's your leading brand of toothpaste?
It's the Colgate. We switched to the triple with whitening, which I don't really the gel. I used to like just the Colgate white paste
Mm-hmm.
with no other extras in it, but we stopped getting that for some reason. But I don't know. That's what I use. What do you use?
I'm big on the Colgate with the triple strip, and then there's also something I use for my gums. I forgot the name of it. Periodent, something like that. So I use the two in tandem, but that's usually when you find a toothpaste, it's the thing that you use. I find the same is true with like deodorant as well. It's like you gravitate to a toothpaste, you gravitate to a deodorant, and that's what you use.
And I do the Harry's razors. Those are great. And again, no friction. They come in the mail, and they come slow in the postal mail, so you can tell they're saving money on shipping. But you pre-order them ahead of time before you need them, so you don't need them here overnight. And there's one razor type. You go to Dollar Shave Club. They have a triple razor, a 4 razor, a 6 razor. I'm like, don't give me choices. I want the one and only 5 razor brand on Harry's with the lube strip and the single razor on the top where you can get in the little nooks and crannies and go nip 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 nip. It's the perfect. Anyway.
Have you heard of Corsidel? Do we have that? I've never heard of it.
No, I don't. Is it an English only brand?
Maybe. No idea.
Over in the UK.
Hello, Governor. Hello, Governor.
Governor, yeah. Hello.
Hello.
God save the Queen. Long live the Queen. Hello. I'm the Queen.
If we keep talking like this, Weber will join us, so it'll be amazing. Keep an eye out.
Oh, Weber. You can't have any meat if you don't eat your pudding. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
Dentistry recommended. Corsidel. Not a sponsor, but it is dentistry recommended.
Are 9 out of 10 dentists recommend?
I don't know. Is it the same 4 out of 5 that would invite you to smoke a Lucky back in the 1950s? I have no idea.
Lucky Strike.
Have a lucky.
Unfiltered Luckies. Oh, what a way to put yourself in the grave faster.
And your family will agree it is the way to go. Smoke a lucky today.
Oh, God.
Why do I go to the 50s voice? Matt, I go back to the 50s voice. At least, oh, man.
How are the kitties, says Ingrid.
Bruce and Stevie are fantastic. The good news is, the latest update there is they're not eliminating all over the place, which was a problem back a month and change ago. So they know how to keep it in the litter box, thank heaven. Bruce is more cantankerous than ever and has grown a bit of a belly. And Stevie, if you blink, you miss her, because she goes from room to room to room, and then for some weird reason loves to use her claws and loves to nibble on you. That happened today. So the cats are great. I am very appreciative of both of them. I love them. They're an incredible add to the house. And they have their own nuances and their own craziness. And I guarantee you, before the fourth quarter rolls around, they'll probably have their own live stream. That's how things are going these days, isn't it? If you think about it, all things cats.
50% of all online videos have a cat in them.
That's right.
It's a true fact.
Ingy is cuddling her pup. Do you know when you have something that is an amazing piece of art, an amazing, like this is something that should win awards? We don't have any sort of Emmy here in the live streaming world, right? We have our own versions of things, and I don't know what the sort of audience that we have, but I gotta tell you, and this is a shameless plug of epic proportion, but if you haven't seen it, I would really suggest you watch the April 30th edition of VF Talks. In a year and change, or less than a year, in 10 months of doing this, I would think that was probably the best VF Talks we ever did. Tonight was incredible, and it's probably a number 2 right behind it. But that one on the 30th of April, oh my God, it was incredible. So, homework assignment for all of you, when you get a chance, go to YouTube or Facebook, watch the April 30th version of VF Talks. It's an hour and change. You'll be glad you did, because I was even watching it today, 2 months after the fact, 2 months and change after the fact. I am still laughing hysterically based on some of the things we were talking about on that very episode. So, homework assignment for all of you.
Yeah, so sometimes we fall into that groove. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Was I on? Was I
yes,
co-host?
You were on. Ashley was on. Mr. Burke was on, and a lot of comments from Miss Fabro and Mr. Superstar, which I think it was absolutely an incredible show. So definitely take a look at it.
Yeah, awesome sauce.
And on that, and I use that as a segue out, and I'm sure there's a Funhouse. Is there a Funhouse there? Is there a fun? Did we move it back to monthlies
there
yet?
Is. It might be gone by now.
Okay. Well, there might be a Funhouse. There may not be, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoy that cookout, Matt. I hope it's a really good exhibition of meat grilling prowess.
Anything that's cooked for me tastes better.
Well, there you go. Did you cook it yourself? No? That's a win.
Exactly.
Was it free? Yes? That's a win. It's like the samples at Costco. It's like, free. Oh, fantastic.
Agreed. 100%. I have nothing else to follow that with. Agreed.
I'll let you know how Costco treats me this weekend, for sure.
Yeah, sounds like fun. Look for bargains.
I will look for bargains, and you want to do this again next Friday, 5:15 Eastern, 2:15 Pacific?
Certainly.
Okay. Well, Matt, I look forward to seeing you back here next Friday, and I will put a giant bow on this and call it a show. So, Matt, you have a great weekend. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Thank you, John. Bye, everyone.
Matt Haas, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible things we talk about on this show. I mean, we went from why Drew Carey is a bad host of The Price is Right all the way to Costco bargains And in the middle, there was a Pico outage that put us out for about 5-6 minutes. So I'll have to splice the two together. But it is basically, I explained it this way to someone earlier. It's like, what is VF Talks? VF Talks is basically the yang to the yin yang agreement between the Venture Forward Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then this conversation show on Fridays. And both have a incredible place on here. Wait a second. Really, Rex? You wait until the end of the second show to say something? Really? Really? Cannot forget that guy, can I? Anyhow, as I was, it is that yin-yang agreement between the serious concepts and stuff we talk about on the Tuesday, Thursdays, and this fun conversation we have on Fridays. And I am thankful for all of you that watch this show and you know, basically support it. And you guys are fantastic. And I have absolutely am thankful and blessed and love all of you for sure. So that leads me to next week, in the sense that on Tuesday, we will continue to talk about the steps to the weight loss, the things that have formed together that has caused the 281 pounds of weight loss. And also, we should know more from what my neurologist says about the MRI, the results that we talked about on yesterday's Venture Forward. But until then, I'm going to say the same thing I say at the end of every Venture Forward of VF Talks. Stay safe, stay sane, stay strong, stay sober. You're worth it. Have a great night. I will see you Tuesday night at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Good night, and fly be free.
Heading to Vegas in my blue striped car. She's riding shotgun and she looks like a star. Yeah, she's got the style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She says she likes it better when we go off-road. Yeah. I'm gonna make it worth your while. I'm gonna make it worth your time. Gonna make it worth your while. When she's with me, we're like superstars. Windows roll down, radio on. I think we could go far. We don't need money. We can skip that part. All I want is her to be with me. She's got a ticket to my heart. The sky is blue, I got the sun in my eyes. It can't get better than when she makes that smile. Yeah, she's got that style that makes you think she's made out of gold. She's turning up the volume on the radio. Yeah. I'm gonna make it worth your while. I'm gonna make it worth your time. I'm gonna make it worth your while. When she's with me, we're like superstars. Windows roll down, radio on. I think we could go far. We don't need money. We can skip that part. All I want is her to be with me. She's got a ticket to